Let's see. All right, we're live. Fingers crossed.
So far, so good.
We're doing our best. We're only 13 minutes into this, trying to figure out technology. Man, okay, let's just go ahead and get started and see if this bad boy sticks around. What's up, Monica? How are you? How's everything going?
Great. It's just perfect. It's just as it should be, Ruben. I don't know why, but it was supposed to be 15 minutes late. Maybe you have more people coming on now, maybe. I don't know.
You know what? You know what's interesting that you say that is my wife was driving to the grocery store. She needed to get something. She didn't necessarily need to get it, but as she was driving, she got a rock that hit the windshield.
Oh my gosh.
And cracked it. And then she came back. She was like, well, maybe there's a reason for it. So I totally understand. Trying to find the reason for things like that, you know?
That's right. We have to assume that. It's like when somebody pulls in front of me on the highway in the fast lane is going slow. I thank them because I'm assuming that they helped me, avoid a car accident or something.
It's a good way of looking at it instead of like, ah.
Yeah, because that's normally what I want to do.
Yeah. All right, so just very quickly, you've been with eXp. Monica's been with eXp for a little over 8 years now. Former CEO of a Keller Williams office. So high five to that. Love that. Just a little quick stats for people who are listening, but I'd love for you to tell who you are, what you do, and how you do it real quick before we get started.
Awesome. Do you want me to focus primarily on real estate, I'm assuming, yes?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Been in this lovely business since 2003, so 22 years. Been a full-time agent the whole time. I did run a Keller Williams office, as you mentioned, and that's where I got my bug for coaching. I really learned that I love that coaching and training part. And so after I stepped down as the team leader there, I started my own coaching business, and I was selling and doing some coaching for agents all around the country and Canada. And I primarily coach. My specialty is the referral and relationship business and putting a system around that, because a lot of people think they want to be a referral agent. They have to just hope that their database sends them referrals. That's just not the case. We can put a really effective system around it. So that's primarily what I teach. And then I actually launched a team here in the last couple months, which has been really fun. We've got 6 agents on the team, but I'm learning a whole new skill set, which is running a team.
Yeah. So if you don't mind, what's the difference between running the team and running a whole Keller Williams office at the time?
That's a great question. The scope of it, the role as the team leader, felt a little bit bigger just because we had well over 200. I think we had 240 agents. So that's,
right.
A lot more than being as involved as I am with each of my agents and really understanding what everybody wants and how I can help them. So it just feels a little bit more like a family. I loved my Keller Williams family. I called them that. But that felt a little bit more corporate, I think, than this feels a little bit more personal.
Right. Exactly. What are some of the stuff that you've taken out of that position that you've now pulled into this position, both leadership roles? But what have you found that has been the most beneficial for the team that you've found in the CEO position?
So I remember it. So I'm a high I. For those of you that know the DISC, that means I'm an ID. So I'm driven by people and relationships first. And a lot of times high I's don't like to disappoint people, and we're people pleasers. And I identify as such. Ruben, are you people pleaser?
I used to be a high ID, but when I became the CEO of a KW office, it became DI.
Yeah. Well, I never quite made that transition very well, so it was exhausting, obviously.
Yeah.
But to your question, I can't, and I just learned this phrase, if I'm people pleasing, I'm feeding myself. I'm doing that for me. I'm being selfish. Yeah. It's not for the other person. That's me doing that to make myself feel more comfortable. Right. If I'm holding people to their standards, then I'm doing that for them. And that is something I learned in Keller Williams, and then I forgot about it until starting the team. But it really doesn't serve anybody if I'm not setting standards, demonstrating the standards, and then expecting the standards from people. As long as I know what they want to achieve, and then that aligns, I think that's fair.
Right. And I have some questions about the director position of the board of directors, but with that, and I say but, right? Like, we both came from that world. But so what made that transition happen? Because I know specifically what helped me make that transition, but for you, what clicked for you to stop thinking in that manner in order to flip it around and be like, I'm not serving anyone by doing this and wanting everyone to be my friend? What was it? Something personal, professional? What happened?
It was my coach at the time, Hank Avink, who said, Monica, I care more about you than I do our relationship. I was like, wait a second. That is crazy, because I think me finally getting to a point where I am willing to have people walk away, that I don't have to want it more than they do. I can't want it more than they do. So it wasn't any particular thing. But I spent the weekend with John Cheplack down at his ranch, and I saw these team leaders who are having huge success. He's a big coach, for those of you who don't know, John is big coaches, like the top teams in real estate. And I saw that these guys have put their agents first and their egos second. And that people pleasing is an ego thing, just is.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. Do you see it that way?
100%. I was... I don't know if you were around KW at the time, but they were pushing the book Extreme Ownership at the time. And that book changed it all. That's what really helped me see what I was doing to myself and ultimately the office. And once I started holding a standard, because it said in there that we as the leader creates the substandard. And if we allow that standard to stay high, did I have some people that weren't happy with me? For sure. However, we broke all-time records every month, and I probably saw a new car in that parking lot every week because people were making more money, But it was because we were pushing a higher standard, and then from there, that's what helped me. And I was just curious of what helped you make that transition
so cool.
too.
Standards solve problems, and so even if people listening are not running a team, this is for your business. Like, standards solve problems. If you have a problem, if you have a time issue, if you're feeling too stretched, if you have a money issue, like, you have a standard that needs to be put in place, it will solve it. This is just that simple. And so if I'm putting a standard in place for somebody else, I have to get their buy-in, but then I have to get permission to hold them to that standard. It solves a problem, which is that they're not making enough money or whatever.
Exactly. And what standards do you uphold in the position of director of the board of directors of eXp?
Oh, from an eXp, what standards do I uphold? Well, I mean, I behave myself as a good agent in all the right ethical ways.
Cheers.
Have to do that, right? That's first and foremost. My top standard has always been authenticity. I saw what trying to be somebody else did to my business. It didn't work out very well. I tried to start doing what other people were doing in a way that wasn't authentic to me, and my business just tanked. This was early on, like in my first couple of years. So first of all, that authenticity. And, when I got on the board, I walked into the boardroom and I was sitting there with these incredibly successful other directors. And I thought, what am I doing here? How did I find myself in this room? It was very intimidating. And while that went away, because they're just really nice guys, I realized that actually my role is really important in that room, because I'm representing the agent base, right? The average agent. And when I was being interviewed for it, I said that, look, I'm not a big team leader. I don't have 50 agents on my team. I'm your average agent that's just made a really good life out of this business and done it at, a top 10% level. And I have the finger on the pulse of those people, which is, I think, who we, serve very well. So that standard of being myself and knowing that I do have value to add, even though I don't maybe measure up financially with others in the room or whatever it was. Does that make sense?
It absolutely does. And I think, especially right now with the market kind of, doing what it's doing, people are moving into things that aren't authentic to them in order to get a sale. And I think right now people need to hear that. So it completely makes sense to me to be authentic to yourself because, oh man, I say this quote a lot. It came from Dr. Seuss, right? The OG. But he said somewhere, be who you are and say what you feel because the ones who mind don't matter. And the ones who matter don't mind.
Don't mind. That's right. I love it. Well, that authenticity is energy. And I won't get woo-woo on everybody, but you will attract what you need in your life if you're being authentic. If you're holding space with a lot of people that cause you to not be who you are, be inauthentic, then you're taking up space that, there's no room for what you should be attracting into your business, right? You just be you. I had a kid I was coaching once, and he was like dressing in a way. He started dressing in a way that he hadn't been dressing before, and he thought he needed to level up his game. And I said, "What would you wear if you weren't doing this?" And he's like, "I'm a t-shirt and jeans kind of guy." I said, "Then put the t-shirt and jeans back on." Like, right? Look, go do you. And it was amazing who he attracted. He was trying to attract, somebody else. Like, no, you need to attract your people. So yeah, be authentic that way too.
Totally. It seems extremely exhausting to be someone you're not as well. So I agree 1,000% with you. I was asking my daughter, she watches, she's 6 and she watches Boss Baby. Loves Boss Baby, by the way. And by the way, me too. It's a great, but she asked, or I asked her, because she's always talking about the board of directors. And I said, hey, I'm going to be talking to the director of the board of directors of eXp. I said, do you have a question? And she said, I do. So I'm going to read it.
Let's go. What's her name, by the way?
Arlie, Arlee.
Arlie. Awesome.
Yep. So Arlie asks, how did you become the director of the board of directors?
Okay, this is a good question, Arlie. Thank you. Actually, I have a story about this, and there's a lesson in it. It's not just the basic, like, oh, I don't know. No, I know. So, at the time, we had a leader of the company coming to Cincinnati to speak, and this was early on. I had just joined, actually. And I asked the person that was organizing, can I pick him up? Can I pick him up from the airport? And this is just a practice of mine. Like, anytime I can get time with somebody that knows more than I do, or is chapters ahead of me, I will do whatever it takes to spend a little time with them. And usually that comes in the way of service. Quite frankly, that's the easiest way to make that stuff happen. So I went and picked him up. It was Jason Guessing. You know Jason, probably a lot of people, if you've been here a while, you know Jason. He's the best. And he was coming to Cincinnati to speak, and I picked him up from the airport. We spent time in the car. I took him, dropped him off at his hotel. I picked him up to go to the next day's event. And we formed a friendship from that. Had no idea about the board of directors, wasn't even remotely in my line of sight at all. I was just learning from him and befriending him, and we became friends. And fast forward, I guess that's been 5 years. I get a call from Jason. I can remember exactly where I was. And he said, hey, Monica, would you ever consider being the agent representative on the board of directors for eXp World Holdings? And I was like, new phone, who dis? Like, what? Come on now. I said, Jason, I'm so honored that you even just asked me that question, whether it comes to fruition or not. He said, I think you'd make a great representative. There are others interviewing for it, so you have to go through the process, but I want to throw your name in the hat. And I believe the only reason I got that opportunity was because I said I would get uncomfortable and go pick somebody up at 7:30 at night from the airport on a night I probably didn't even want to do that, because I like to go to bed early, right?
Yeah.
And this is those moments where you just don't know what that's going to lead to. And everybody listening has those stories about somebody that ended up buying a house or referring somebody is like, oh, I was just in the right place at the right time. But I call it creating fate. And I'm just really good at creating fate because I show up places and I put myself inside of rooms and I post on Facebook a lot and I just create fate. So that's how that happened. I went through the interview process and my two things were I'm going to ask a lot of questions because I'm going to be curious to understand. And then I can always give you perspective from the average agent's standpoint. And I'll always be honest. And I got to tell you, in that room, Ruben, I get asked many times, Monica, how do you think this will land? What do you think's going on? How do you think they'd perceive this? What do you think? What do you think? So it's really cool. It's really cool.
That's awesome. And, you know, I hope some of I go into schools and I talk to students about entrepreneurship. And I always say this one thing, which is show up to go up. And so I hope that they're listening because that's exactly what you said. I showed up. Although it was uncomfortable, I like to sleep in, I still showed up. Right. And you know, I love to hear that. What within the conversation do you believe while y'all were driving made it click for him that you would be it'd be a good friendship, but two, a great representative of someone who's on the board? What do you think? Like, what was the chemistry?
There's two things. One is I ask a lot of questions. I ask more questions than the average human being because I come from curiosity, right? Yeah. And I remember a mentor said to me, Monica, and I just said this in our team meeting this morning, in any interaction, personal or business, the person that asks the questions is in charge, and the person that talks the most thinks it went the best. We as agents freaking always think it goes great because we're just talking so damn much, right? Like, stop talking. Stop. Start asking questions. So I know that he thought that interaction went great because I asked him 107 questions. It was genuine. I was interested. The company was still really new and we were 3,000 agents back then. So I was curious. And then also that I was so passionate about the company that I think he saw a genuine, like, I'm here because I see what this company is going to do for the industry and for agents. That's the reason I'm here. And I believe it like all the way in my heart. And I think he saw that, like, that I was going to be that person, at least in Cincinnati. And then obviously as my voice got larger, but I believe those are the two things. I asked questions, came from curiosity, and I'm passionate about the company, genuinely.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I love that. And if anybody doesn't know Jason, he did one of these. So just go search my playlist. Yeah, really, obviously really good dude. I think he was CEO twice, maybe once, twice. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So what question did what answer did he give you from a question that you asked that surprised you the most?
Oh, I think it was, and this has been a little while, and I'm of a certain age where I forget things as they go through time, just so you know. Okay, you got that too? Yeah. But what I do recall walking away from that visit in general with him was we were talking a lot about the growth in recruiting because that's the opportunity. One of the opportunities I obviously saw here for me was that leveraged income revenue share opportunity that exists, was how simple he kept it. That this is not a complicated process. This idea of, growth. And this can be, you can apply this to your growth with clients too. Listen, every agent listening to this is a recruiter. You're either recruiting listings, you're recruiting buyers, or you're recruiting agents. Like, let's just call it what it is, right? There's this bad word about it. But what I walked away with was, this is really simple. You've got to find, the people that are looking for you. You've got to find the people that you think this company can genuinely help. And you're not selling anybody on it, right? There's not a force. There's not a tricky, this is just genuinely coming from curiosity and finding out how to help people. And that was already in my DNA, so that felt good. But I love the simplicity of that and took the need to be attached to the outcome off the table.
Yeah.
you know. That's what I remember. I'm sure there were other things, Ruben. I'm sorry. I can't remember.
You're fine. You didn't bug the car to get all the information you possibly could from the CEO.
No. Well, what's really funny, this is how little I knew. I asked him how he and Glenn came up with the idea or something like that. He goes, "Oh, this isn't my idea. This is all Glenn's idea." I thought he was like a co-founder. I didn't even know. That's how dumb I was.
Well, I mean, how would you know until you asked the question, you know?
See? He's like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm not part of this idea at all. I just see it as well." So
yeah. Okay. I love it. For anybody who is scratching their head and wondering, what is the role as the director of the board of directors? Excuse me.
A member of the board of directors or a director on the board. Much more high level than you would think. Like a lot of agents want to call and ask me, "Hey, can you help me manage this issue," or whatever. We don't get into the weeds. The directors are for the eXp World Holdings, which is the parent company, of course, of eXp Real Estate. So we're looking at high level direction. We are understanding. Yesterday we had our board meeting. We did a whole presentation by the CFO and what those numbers look like, what the trends look like, what's happening outside of the company. Are we keeping pace or beating pace? Just making sure that we're asking all the right questions that the numbers are telling us. Leo was there, who is obviously an amazing CEO, so smart. And he does a great job interpreting numbers and telling the story to the board. And then we ask questions, and we're just like the rudder, you know, the high level rudder of the company. And the thing I like the best is we think about shareholders, but in this case, the good news is they're actually the agents.
Right.
Like we don't have this rub against what would the shareholders want versus what should we do for the agents. It's always about the agent. Always. I have been so pleasantly surprised inside that boardroom that what I hear on the outside is what I'm seeing on the inside. And I was actually worried about that. Somebody said, "Don't get too close to the sun. You might get burned." I'm like, Oh, I could see that happening, right?
Yeah.
But I'm here to tell you guys, and obviously I can't disclose lots of things, but you'd be very pleased with how the board and the leaders of this company think so often about the agents, even though some decisions come out that feel maybe not great for an agent. But because you're also a shareholder, you should care about the quality and health of the company, right?
Right.
So they're not always going to be in perfect harmony.
Right. And if anyone has questions, please ask. Obviously, there's maybe some stuff she can't disclose, but some stuff she can.
Yeah.
What have you gone in maybe feeling a slight disagreement on what was discussed, or maybe what may be being pushed forward, that later you kind of saw it for what it was and it totally made sense, it clicked, and it kind of changed your perspective about that thing?
Without like specifics,
right?
Because I don't think I can do that. I will say this, that once a year we have the heads of the divisions come in. So the head of ops, the head of marketing, of course, Leo, and all these different division heads, broker, ops, all that. When we can see what improvements they've made over the year and where they're heading, and we can look at the data, you see how sometimes things just take time. And where we as agents are like, you know, let's do it. We're agile. We can pivot. You should do this, or you shouldn't do this. There's always a story behind that we as agents don't understand. And there's a bigger picture at play, or there's a partnering of two things that kind of need to work together. One can't just operate on its own willy-nilly. So I hope this isn't avoiding the question too much, but really, as agents, we have to assume that there is something else at play that is important for instance, when we had to recently up the $30 for the transaction coordinator, $30 a month for a transaction coordinator seat at Sky Slope, everyone was like, what? We can't be having that. That's $30 a month. That's whatever a year, 360. Come on. First of all, that was a directive from Sky Slope for a massive liability upgrade, like security upgrade that they did, because we had people logging in as me. I did that. My TC would log in as me. If that TC leaves, that is a problem. Can we agree that we want to keep our company safe? Because we're shareholders, remember. So we don't want some big hack or problem security issue. So Sky Slope, which is our biggest expense in the company.
Really?
Huge.
Really? Okay.
So when that happens, they now charge us for seats. We have a responsibility not to just take that additional debt on, that it's fair for probably higher level agents who have TCs to each carry a $360 a year load. Really? Not that big a deal, right? If you think about the importance of that happening. So those kind of things, when you get to see what's going on behind, you're like, oh, I think I would have made the same decision. So my hope is that agents will just know that there has been a lot of decision behind things that maybe don't feel great. But what's really cool is this company has not changed its monthly fee since I have been here 2017. Not once. Yeah. Other companies are, in fact, we're adding stuff for that. Now you get 3 CRMs, no extra charge for that, right? Now you get Canva Pro, no extra charge for that. But the minute we have this little Sky Slope thing, it's like everybody forgets that this company has been pouring value into us every year consistently and for no extra fee, when many other companies, as you know, Ruben, are upping their per transaction fee, their monthly fees for no reason, not giving any extra value, just because they're dying on the vine with expenses.
Yeah, wow. And I had no idea that Sky Slope was that large of an expense, which I think is another cool little stat that we could just throw out for anybody who is listening. Now just want to see, what is another large expense that may have a great ROI, but that maybe we as agents, just little old agents here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, wouldn't know or understand, because that's a cool little stat. What else are we looking at that you could talk about?
I mean, I don't have the line items memorized.
Right.
I mean, the quality of our staff and support, obviously in any company, staffing is an expense. But what I love is we don't have to make geographical hiring decisions. That's what being a cloud-based brokerage enables us to do, is if we need, this transaction manager for Ohio, they can be from anywhere. You could be talking an expert care, you could be talking somebody in Alaska on their couch in their pajamas, but because they were the best person for the job, that's what we did. And that's why, in my opinion, whenever you go into the cloud for help, you get what you need. I mean, that's one thing, is I want to spend money on staff because I want the best. I want our service to be the best. Yeah.
I was always told that people are the greatest asset in your business. Yeah. But they're also the most volatile. You never know what they're going to do, but they are the greatest asset. They are the greatest asset. What is your current goal in your position on the board of directors for the agents, that maybe we could help with some resources, that we could help as agents get you to that goal? What is something specifically you're looking at right now?
We're really heavy focused on and really paying attention to the amazing job that Brian Ellington's doing with the training right now.
Yeah.
FastCap, the data coming out of FastCap is insane. It's insane. It's moving agents into production. It's increasing. And so we're really focused on what can we do right now to help agents in this very unique market that we've got right now that's sending a lot of people packing. And so us increasing that per agent count, the deals per agent count, making eXp sticky, because if people are having success here, they'll stay here, right? Yeah. And so that training is what I believe sets us way, way apart. I mean, Brian, I think, don't quote me on this, but I believe he won, training of the year in the industry for many years when he was at KW. And I remember Leo saying, I want to get somebody like Brian. He's like, oh, hell, I'll just go get Brian. And he did, right? And he did. And he and that whole team, they're doing an amazing job. So if you're not plugging into the training, if you have been here a while and maybe you didn't get what you wanted earlier, like revisit it, because there are some seriously powerful, top-notch, world-class trainings going on inside of eXp. And I'm really excited about that, because that's what we need to give our agents right now, is how to survive through this little hiccup we're in.
Yeah, and I will speak on FastCap just for a second, because I taught it with Austin,
cool.
Chevron. Yeah, and I will say, and we even say this in the training, there's a lot getting thrown at you, but there is a community. And I'll also say that we stick around after the training. So it's not like, all right, everyone have a good one, click, done. Yeah. Won't see you again for days. Nah, man, like we are very, very involved throughout the whole time. So we're not letting you go. So the more you show up, the more you go up, agent. You just got to show up. But we're there for you.
Oh, that's good. I love that. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So what are some of the largest roadblocks that you see eXp has, coming up that we may even face this year?
I mean, of course, the market does not dictate your success. It only dictates your strategy. But let's be real. The market is unique right now, right? It's presenting a challenge for all industry leaders. All. eXp is not alone there.
Right.
Fewer houses to sell, a lot of consolidation going on, a lot of these team growth, which we knew. I mean, everybody's been talking about that for a while, that's just the direction, is leveraging the team inside the brokerage and inside the brokerage, really, for that extra support and that extra help. Yep. The accountability, the infrastructure, the camaraderie, that kind of thing.
Right.
So I think that that's eXp's biggest challenge. And we're not sitting back and saying, oh, we'll just ride it out. We're saying, okay, how does our strategy change? Like, who do we attract? How do we treat them once they're in here? Meaning giving them the training that is going to get them where they want to go. And just focusing on that. We're beating the market in a lot of different categories. Retention and growth, where a lot of brokerages are absolutely just being drained of agents. It's really crazy. And then I think the other thing is, of course, we've got a lot of copycatters. I don't think anybody is going to ever catch first to market and how strong our roots are.
Right.
But that, agents are always looking for the next shiny thing. Yeah. Did you know, and I don't have the stat exactly, but it's insane. I'm going to say 7, but it could be 9 agents are coming back to eXp every day of the week. 7 or 9, I can't remember. Or it's like 7.4 or something. They were here, they left, and they're coming back. 7 to 9 every single day.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, tells you something.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, man, I had a question with that too. With the agents, in the market. Oh, so thank you for that. And then for your team, what are you doing to stay ahead of the market? Because obviously, thank you for the answer for eXp as a whole, sitting on the board. But what are you doing specifically? And yes, I know every market is different, but what are you doing specific into your team to stay ahead of this wonky market?
Yeah. Well, do you think, Ruben, like right now with the way the market is, and even in the near future, that agents are going to have more conversations or fewer conversations to get what they want? More.
Yeah.
But it's not that difficult of a concept. So what is it that you'll double down on in your business that you already know is working, or you've had some success with, or you feel like will be authentic, like kind of keep you in your lane? Meaning, are you a relationship guy, or do you want to just dial for dollars? Like, I don't care, but whatever it is, we're going to double down on it. because if you don't, you will lose. We're in a market where you've got to double your effort, I think. And that doesn't mean if I was working 8-hour days, I have to work 16-hour days. That just means intensity on that 20% that gives you the 80% results. You got to let some stuff go. If it's not a hell yes, then it's a hell no. Like it's that time right now where you just, hey, I only have 2 hours today, so I'm going to do the thing that I know that moves the needle, which is to talk to people, pick up the phone, stop buying things, stop looking for things, stop.
You sound like me.
I mean, seriously, pick up the freaking phone, go somewhere. Don't hide behind your computer, all that. So we're just taking things super simple, and we are measuring activities every day as our goal. We don't care about the goal. We know we'll get there if we do the activities. So we're like hyper intense on what's happening every single day in your business.
Yep. I love it. I love the preaching. There's another quote, contacts equal contracts. I know that's been around forever, but yeah, I think you're right. I mean, that's a huge thing that we're focusing on. And we're making it very simple too for the agents who come into our world. By the way, doesn't matter what firm you're with. If you come into our world, we're going to help. And it's, do you want to talk to people you know and they know you? Do you want to talk to people you don't know, but you do well face to face? Or do you want to talk to people you don't know, they don't know you, and you don't want to talk to a face to face? We have place for all three, but you have to take action. And it does, for some, it's a daily accountability. You got like the daily activity report that they could do. But I agree. It's more people.
You're right. And if you pick the third one of those options, you better pack your patience, because those things take a long time to convert.
Everyone who chooses that comes back to one or two.
Correct.
All of them.
Because it's so brutal.
It's disgustingly brutal. I love it. So what is the biggest obstacle you face in continuing to grow?
Me not buying shit, and me staying focused on my 20%. And me, it's all me. It's how I show up every day, and me not making decisions out of how I feel right now, because I'm tired, right? Like I just told the team this morning, my decisions are now made by my future self. I don't make my own decisions, because I will not make the right ones, because I'm freaking a human, like all of us. Like it's just, that's the difference. Is I go to my future self, the one that has everything I'm going for, the one that's living that life that I'm looking for. And what did that person say yes to at this point that I don't want to do? Like, that's what I'm just looking in the mirror, Ruben. I mean, I've got to lead by example. I've got to do the same things. I got to get uncomfortable. I mean, working out of Follow-Up Boss and calling out of Follow-Up Boss and texting out of Follow-Up Boss, I don't want to do that. I just want to pick up my cell phone, right? I don't. But how can I measure what I'm doing? How can I examine the data? How can I look at what I need to improve and let go of if I don't have the data? So I have to do that. I don't want to.
I agree. We're jumping in the field a lot more content online as well. Yeah, definitely way more in the field than I was last year. But it is what it is. And
what's your goal with this community you've built?
For us, this is a good. So I've said it in many ways, but it just popped in my head to say this: for our agents to have options. I think that's it. For our agents to have options. What does that mean?
Yeah. What's that mean?
Stay in real estate as a solo person because you love it. Stay in real estate, create a team. Stay in real estate, create a worldwide team. Do not stay in real estate. Leave real estate because you've been investing the whole time and now you have cash flow. Are you creating the life that you want? Is it more time? I don't know. Is it the coolest cars? Is it just the most time that you can have with your family? Is it leaving something back? But I want our agents to have options. I'm tired of the industry saying, this is what you're going to do forever. There's no retirement. Just keep going.
Right.
If you love it, fantastic. Stick around. But in the future, I want you to have options. I just want our people to have options.
I love that. And agents don't think they do. So you educating them on that, that's really helpful. There's a
Yeah.
guy on my team. His mom is like an icon here in Cincinnati. She's 93 years old. She closed a deal last week. She wants to. She
Right.
loves it, right? It's what keeps her going. But I don't want to do that. And you don't want to do that, probably. So
No, but I want to help people discover real estate because without real estate, I couldn't be in the place I'm at. And this isn't about me, but
no, I love
yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's just so we have about 7 minutes, and I'm going to hit you with a few more questions. What is the worst piece of advice you ever got?
I think it goes back to God, that's such a good, nobody asked the question that way. Good job on that. Okay. I had a manager way back when, a different brokerage, and I was complaining about business or whatever. And he said, I will help you, but you have to do exactly what I tell you to do. No questions asked. If I tell you tomorrow's Christmas, go home and put up your tree. Like, it was that kind of a conversation. And while in the chair I sit now, I know he was probably right. But what I didn't like about that was that he didn't ask me a single question. He just assumed that he knew, what would work for me, how I would want to work, what would be sustainable for me, because I didn't hate it too much. Like, he didn't consult with me. He didn't find out where I was going or what I wanted to build. So I hate that advice, because that could have put me on a path that would have been unsuccessful or led me somewhere I didn't want to go, just because he thought he knew what I needed. And we as agents think we know what sellers and buyers need too, because mostly we do, but we don't always. So that understanding, that consultative mind, is not only good coaching and good leadership, but also good sales practice too. So I look back on that and I never want to be that guy. So my team, I really want to understand what makes them tick. What happens if this doesn't take hold? Where does that lead them? This girl told me, she said, I'm tired of vision boards. I talk about nightmare boards. I want to know what their nightmare board is, because when I know their nightmare, then I can help them. I can help them stay out of the nightmare. I was like, oh, that's so good. No more vision boards. I don't care what car you want or whatever. I want to know, because most people operate out of fear, right, Ruben? So
That's right.
If I can see that, if I can see how can I protect you from what could happen if you don't make this work, is probably more powerful than just do as I say. I just hate that. Do as I say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So did you tell him no?
Yeah, I left the brokerage.
Yeah.
I went somewhere else. I didn't laugh. I thought he was being an ass. I was like, go home and put up my tree. Like, who are you? No.
Yep. It was that quote, people move faster away from pain than they do towards pleasure.
Yeah, they do. They do.
So you're right. Have you started the nightmare boards?
No, I just heard that last week. I was like, that is so good. So we're going to, if we don't make them, I at least want to understand what that is,
Yeah, you're going to see some tears. I'll say that.
I bet you're right.
What is something sorry.
I was just going to say, that's what I want, right? Because people make decisions and emotions. Like, that's what moves them.
100%. 100%. And I love that you're so focused on asking questions and understanding, and like you said, coming from a sense of curiosity. Mm-hmm. And I think that serves you so well on the board, and then it trickles down to us. For someone who is looking to ask more questions, is there a formula or something that you go back to that helps you get back into question mode, especially as a high, right? Mm-hmm. Is there something that you tell yourself, or something that someone could leave here today and practice?
Yeah. So first of all, understanding how the brain works will lead you to understand why this is important. And if people understand like kind of the behind it, I think, and I'm not obviously a neuroscientist or anything at that level, but I do know, and you probably know, Ruben, too, is that you can't convince people through talking. They have to self-discover. And the only way they self-discover is if you're asking them questions and they're answering. They will not listen to what you have to say but they will listen to how you made them think. So my habit that I had to do, and this came from a very embarrassing moment where my coach called me out in front of people that I wasn't ready to be a coach. I was in a program called So You Want to Be a Coach. And I wasn't asking questions. And he was making the point that I'm not ready because all I want to do is fix. All I want to do is be like, I know what you need, right? I was that age. I was that guy. So through a very embarrassing moment, I became very sensitive. It was an emotional moment, which caused me to change. And so my habit is that I don't answer questions straight out. I ask at least one clarifying question before I answer a question. And a lot of people say, well, isn't that annoying? People don't like you to ask questions. No, it's not annoying. It's consultative, and it's right. Because 9 times out of 10, the question you asked or they asked you is not actually what they're looking to be answered. Yeah. So you're going to answer some surface level question that they think you want them to ask, and you're not going to get where it counts. Excuse me. And then you're going to wonder why you didn't get the job. Frog in my throat. Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
One more minute, we would have never known because it had been 12 o'clock.
Oh, shoot. Right. So just ask a clarifying question every time. And sometimes it's like, oh, sounds like you've had an experience with that. Tell me more about that. Can you tell me more about that? I know that's not technically a question, but it is, right? It's peeling back. It doesn't have to be a specific question. It can be, wow, that sounds important to you. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, and I hope people hear that. And I trust that they'll go out into the world and do that. And I think that's such a skill that you could use in your relationships, even outside of business too.
Oh my gosh, it's so true. And my family at home, they say, you don't ask questions at home like you do in business. I'm like, oh, okay. I need to get better at that.
Hey, the next, Thanksgiving, you're like, should I have a chicken leg?
Right.
Or a turkey breast?
Right. Exactly.
Which one do you like? And they're like, all right, okay, just pick the food, please.
Yes, right. Yeah, it can get annoying, I know, but.
No, I love it. I personally love it, and I appreciate the conversation today. I appreciate your patience with all the technical difficulties in the beginning, but we made it.
We did.
Thank you so much, Monica, for showing up. You're going to eXpCon, no doubt.
For sure. I haven't missed one. Yeah. I'm thinking about going to one abroad. There's one in February in South Africa and then in July in Paris.
Dang.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It sounds like a write-off, too.
It sounds like a big write-off. Yes.
That's awesome. You should go. Very excited. Thank you so much. I'm going to see you at eXpCon. For anybody who is thinking about going, just go. I'm telling you, it's worth it every time. And hit me up because we have a 12-step play for you to actually make money when you go to these eXpCons.
That's cool.
Build relationships. So anyways, Monica, you're the best. I appreciate it. And I'm going to hit you up right after this.
Thanks for all you contribute. And thanks for your patience with me getting to this date and this time finally. So appreciate you.
I knew we had a whole year to make it happen. So I knew.
That's right. All right.
Thanks, Monica.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.